Hi, I'm Bjorn Sikkers, Crocsnacks, and I'm born in Australia without a legitimate passport identity. I was born with another name, and I don't reside on this name. I have the name Bjorn Sikkers Crocsnacks, and I'm a relation to government. And I want to introduce you to work by the government. But there are a few things you must know if you want to work by the government. And I know I get some criticism on this level because I'm open over government. But on the other hand, the government is resilient on not legitimate control to people, and they are discounting people. That's not what we want in government. If you ask somebody from the prosecutor of court or the high county, what was the reason that you did your study? They won't say, I want to give people boundaries. I want to give people respect. I want to give people punishment in rehabilitation to re-enter the society. That's what you learn if you learn rights, if you learn punishment in relation to justice overhand. So, that are the first things that you must know if you want to work by the government. But on the second hand, you must know that government not always comes with you. You think that the government is always protecting you on a level that you are safe. No, that's not true. The government is not always a pussycat. It's not always a fluid handshake in your hand. Hey, sometimes they are very absorption. They abuse you. They discount you in your life. And if you are in that life can be difficult. On psychiatric level, because they diagnose you wrong, on elements that you always know that it is wrong. You must know that schizophrenia, Asperger, and a lot of diagnoses are relational to government issues, and that the psychiatry is working on that. There are no resilience to psychosis, to real psychosis, injustice, or in government issues. No. On the other hand, they provoke on it. They provoke on psychosis and all that stuff. In the first place, to let you look insane, but on the second hand, they want to discount psychosis in your hand. But we live in a world where we see fairy tales, stories about politics, about government, that we see and invert as a reality. And if you think that reality is on your head, then you are wrong. You must know that there is a level on Pogloclia. It's a difficult name, but it wants to say there is a resilience that it isn't true. It isn't true. If you overshadow this world with lies, then there is a resilience of hatred. And we know that. Okay, now you know that government is not always on your side. But how can I do something for this world in government relations, and that they like me and that they treat me well? Well, if you want to solicitate by government, you must know they always give you trust and they always give you discount. That is what you must know. It's not easy to work by government. A prosecutor of court are always a resilience of warfare in their life. They give themselves up for government on a way you never expect. On a way that you think, well, you are a delusion of our eyes, or of our ears. Yeah, that's what they are. That's what this government is. That is what the government of Europe and the United States of America is. On the other hand, the government is a protection shield. It always will protect you. But they want something in provocation. They want something back for it. They want that you do something for the society, in resilience, to justice, intelligence, military, or politics. If you think that things are for free in government relations, no. Nothing is for free in government relations. I have seen the dark side of justice. I have seen the dark side of monarchy. I know how hard, how foolish government can be. I see a lot of things. If you know what's happening with me, you should get tears in your eyes. But on that hand, they select me. And there's always a reason that they select you. Not because they dislike you. No, there's always an obligation of fairness, of skills. That's what you must know. If you want to know what really is going on, then you must know that you live in a reality. That's your reality, not mine. I know all dossiers of reality conviction in this world. I know what's going on in this world because government has told me. Do you know what they tell you on television? Do you know what they tell you on radio? And do you trust that? That's what they conceal, that's what they are sealed. And yeah, they do provocations on your body, on your brain, and sometimes they torture you. Well, is that normal? Is that a reliability on normal behavior, on justification? No, it isn't. But that's my opinion. But if you see in mathematics, you know that there was always a defining of a solution in borders. If you across those borders, those right progressive behavior, those criminals' behavior of government will always be a resolution of punishment themselves. You must know that we are in a structure of mathematics, of science, and we are built on science. That's what this planet is built on. And that's what I know, a resilience of goodness. Because you can't beat mathematics. Even government can't beat mathematics. They are always on science. So, if you discount people, if you do a warfare on megahertz frequencies on brain issues, on megahertz frequencies on body provocations, or in other words, torture, then you must know that there is always a comeback. There is always a resolution that they get back what they give to others. For some people, is it a scared thing to not work by the government? And I think that they are right. But you must know that there is always one main objective. There is always one main objective. And you know that you live in a country where they always fight to criminals. They want criminals. Keep that in your head, in the back of your head. And that is always the main objective of justice. That is always the main objective of the whole government. That they always seek, always prosecute, and always do everything to make this world a peaceful collection. But sometimes egos go forward. And egos mastering this world where we think, be polite. Don't be so big in your attitude. We have examples in government from this. You must know that the forensic, ballistic intelligence has a resolution to propaganda in hardness, a resolution to dominance. That's how they compare with their world of America. But on the other hand, I don't know what we should do with the world without forensic ballistic intelligence. They are too important for the planet Earth. So everything has one side and another side in conflict. Now we are on the edge of change in this world. We are on the edge of understanding that there are rights for every people, not of a percentage of people. If a percentage of people does have rights, then we are on a long provocation of this world. And we must understand that. If my neighborhood, my girl next door has rights, Do I have rights then too? Or are the rights only for her? No. We have resolutions in this world that we all have the same rights. But then how is it in God's sake possible that we don't get all the same rights? Do you understand what I said 10 minutes ago? Where I said that we live in a fiction reality with other words. That there is not a reality that is true what you see. And I know it because I experienced government. I experienced them as a warm bath. But on the other hand, a cold bath with a lot of ice, where they can break you, but they can also make you. And that's always what they give you. They give you always the feeling that they can make you and that they can break you. And that's in this world of criminals and terrorists, as resolution that's understandable. Because how do you rule this world on a polite way if there are too much idiots on second hand and too much criminals on first hand? Now we know that government has two sides, two parts in their life. But now you are a girl, a boy, and sit down with a government payment, and nobody trusts you, nobody likes you, and you want something making of your life. What are you gonna do? Well, then there is one way: the government. You can say what you want about the government. They torture even good guys. They break you down. But there is always a learning objective. There is always a medical objective, or there's always an objective to change this world in a good relation. And if you want to work by the government, then you must act like a government. But a lot of people say, how do I act like a government? I can do not things that they are not allowed. Well, that's your main objective. If you want work by the government, you must do things that are allowed. Now, okay. The first place what you must do is to defeat all your idiots in your world, to put them to justice. Make a clearance on your own environment. Make a clearance of your own world. Yeah, that's how it works. You must sometimes be a little bit a jerk to your friends, to your family, and put them for trial. On the other hand, you must let know police that you want to work by the government. How? You can do it on a direct way or on a subliminal way. I did it on a subliminal way. I put a lot of investment in type relations on my computer to them, to let them know I want to work with you. I give them all information that was necessary on the project that made me psychotic that make me a wrong resolution in a world where I'm a fraudulent on high skill level in high ability. Now I'm diagnosed on psychiatric level with schizophrenia and Asperger. And yeah, I discount that in my world because I'm a good guy. And I never want right progressive criminal behavior in my life. But I know that I want a good world. So sometimes you must take things for granted. Sometimes you must take pain, torture for granted if you want to work by government. If you can handle that, okay. Then you must give borders and say, I don't take this. That's what I have done. I have set some rules in my personal life that are a discount for government to me, where government says, okay, Bjorn, in your name you don't accept this from us to put communication in your brain, but on the other hand you are a good guy. Well, there is no way of doing this on a good way. That's what they think. That's what justice think. We can't do it on a good way. But if you see mathematics in our world, then you must know that mathematics are always a resilience of science. Mathematics is, in my mind, and is factually true, science. So, can you beat mathematics? Can justice beat mathematics? Can intelligence beat mathematics? No. So, you can go solicitate by government, and yeah, you get a good life. Well, the most of the time. But you must always know in your head that if they abuse you, mathematics will always work for you. And now I'm gonna tell you the reason of a long story why the government is sometimes a criminal aspect of life. Well, we have a resolution of 70 years. We built a whole planet the past 300 years. The 300 to 800 years. It didn't going well. It was with struggles. It was always with falling and standing up. We learned a lot. We learned that there must be courts. We learned that we must be good for each other. But if you see this world now, with courts, with houses, with buildings of all kinds of technology, you see that there is always criminality and terrorism. This world has too many problems. This world is standing with her back against the wall. This world has a resolution of discounting the self, disturbing the self, and breaking down themselves. And what the government thinks is that they can do it with right progressive ways to create a world that we all can live in. Right progressive, left progressive. But they make a fault. They make a fault if they take mathematics. They always discount themselves on mathematics because mathematics will always result in negative results if you use right progressive criminality. You can ask it every criminal. One way or another, I always discount and I always go down in my life with my acting and my behavior. That's what criminals know. But criminals take that for granted. They want the short, better life. And okay, well, we go broke on long term, but we take or short term. Well, that's what justice is doing. That's what the government is doing. On shortcut, they always take the winning hand. But on long term, they are losing. They are losing this world of right progressive provocation, of body, of mind, of warfare, on political ways, on justical ways, or intelligence ways, and even on military ways. So, that is my whole perspective of the government, who works on all kinds of strategies that are sealed in my name. Because I'm also a person who is tortured by government, by influence on stalking events, by influence on psychosis, by influence of torture. I take my responsibility in this world. And I'm a good guy. And what I reveal on this life is that I never do the same thing that government do to me. Because if I do this, I lose. I'm not strong enough. Oh, I'm not strong enough to fight against the government. I'm not strong enough to fight against criminal companies, criminal foundations who are a right neighborhood in our life. I can't resist on that. I'm strong enough to stay by myself. To take myself as a responsibility guy that said, this is my line and I don't go over it. I take that for granted, and that's my resilience. Now we live in the future, a future in reality that is a discount of psychiatry, that's not resolute in that, but in government issue. They do a psychotic influence on everybody. But what I always do is let people think for themselves. And that's what psychiatry does like. But if you let people think for themselves, they are not psychotic if you give them input. Because there's always a two-hand relation by input and thinking. And it can never be a psychosis. Because psychotic people are difficult to influence if you are straight to them. They are always flexible on interpretation levels of all what around them. So the government have difficulties with creating psychotic schizophrenia in people's lives. But now the actuality and future perspective where we live in the universe. Well, that's not something you think that's new for me, no. But we live in a universe that works with each other. Aliens are on our side. Aliens are on the side of planet Earth. But with restrictions, with clear restrictions. They have accountability of books. They have books, we have books that always are a reference of science that can say we are existing in your world. We have books. No, there are no number rectifications like the ISBN number. No, they put them in government's heads. They put those books in government hands. That's a safety precaution. That's a safety way of saying you can get it, you don't get it. No. I have learned mathematics in a fast way. And I know what are the calculations on a third grade are. In mathematics pro, of mathematics prolongation, so as they call it. So I know the world in mathematics and the universe in mathematics. That's my accountability. Now we live in a world where mathematics say that there are robotics in this world, that are a resolution to my as person, because I am the father of thoughts of them. Once in a while, there was a little child that learned things from planet Earth, that resolute on planet Earth, but didn't have any chance at all. And at one time, there was the project that changed DNA with chemicals, that changed brains with metals. And yeah, you don't see it at the outside. No. You don't see it at the outside. You always see it in the inside. If you do blood examples or gene examples, there's always a resolution to psychotic diagnosis if you resolute without no science to this. Even with psychological torture in mind, with communication systems like the C48000 system. But we live in a world with robotics that are an operand on planet Earth. And I am the creative mind behind it, because I didn't accept that there is a universe with no boundaries, a universe where only the bad people will win, and that aggression instincts in our life has always be the operand to those aliens that don't have Kalasnikovs, that don't have weapons, that almost don't have food, and that there is a planet Earth that lives in welfare, that lives in plentiness. And that's why I take my responsibility and put the line. And now I am a brilliant guy, and I am recognized by Forensic Institute of Netherlands as a brilliant guy. And yeah, they do a nose provocation on my mind, because they want to provoke me in my resolution. That's what they always provoke on. And you think that's not true? Search for mathematics. If you know that your nose has a solution to chemicals, and that chemicals always responding on megahertz frequency in radio significance, and that an order is of slime that leaks out your nose. And that's how they control management people. But how do you control management people if I don't give a fuck? Yeah, sometimes you must be die hard in this world. So, now we are on the end of this message. And we have spoke a lot of things, we have resolute in a lot of things. But if you took it all together, and if you resolute on soliciting by government, then you can say one thing: this world is not what it must be. And if you have criticism on this earth, if you have criticism on people or on aliens, and if you want to change that, then you must not sitting back on your chair and put your finger to all people and say you do really wrong. No. Then you must take your responsibility and stand up. Stand up in this world where you say, okay, enough is enough. I take my responsibility and I take my acceptance in this world. Yeah, that's what you must do. And okay, it didn't go well on the first hand in my life. And that was a resolution of discount to justice and whole government. But I have an establishment, and I have did a lot of things for government, and they never resolute and say, well, you are saying too much, and you're doing nothing. So I have an establishment that if some people in this world want to have that, they can work their whole life for it. And I did it in a few years. And in precisely numbers, I did it in 3 years. So I am a resolution of establishment of result. This world is not playtime for criminals. And it will never be a playtime for criminals. It will never be the place that innocent people in this world has no chance at all. And that's what this world is doing. And that's not in my way. And that's not in the way of justice. That's not in the way of government. And now we have friends in our universe. They take their responsibility and they say, no, 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 no. You're going too far, planet Earth. You're going too far. And they have to take their responsibility to make change in your world. Change. Yeah, and I'm not citating Barack Hussein Obama. No. Because he's a jerk in my life. Because he's a hypocrite. But I like him. I like him. Why? Well, in his conference, he must be a jerk sometimes. He must be an asshole in his world. Even against his politics in relations to him. And yeah, they're going forward with provocations on my nose. That's what they always resolute in. And I can say to you, well, I have an influenza virus in my... No, I don't do that. Why? I'm not afraid of reality. I'm not afraid of saying things that are interpreted on a wrong way. Because if you do that, and you are afraid in this world, then you are a master of slave from others. Do you want to be a slave of others? Do you want to be that psychiatric slave that are always a discount of psychiatric diagnosis in this world? No. And yeah, I'm a quality guy. And I know with my brains that I can resolute in this world. But on the second hand, I have a government payment. And I must live with a low status life on resilience of money. I haven't a car driver license because the people who want me on the road are always the people who are set me off the road, and that's a criminal activity, even on justice parliament, and I get nothing in return for that. Now you think, well, should I solicitate by the government because of all what you say, and we go pronouncing on that you are a traceability guy, that we have heard from other people, that we interpreted in your video messages. Well, I said it before, if you want to change this world, and you want to make this world a good world, then you must understand one thing, that you can do only one thing, as taking responsibility. And we are all living on one moment in life. And now I talk on a disturbing way of emotion. Now I'm talking on a way, yeah, and it's not my personal life. No, we live on this moment on a stage that we must leave this planet. This planet has a resolution of dying. Not for 1 year, not for 5 years, not for 100 years, but on a resolution of accounting on 320 years from now on. And that's what I know, and that's what me, the Serbians, we call it Operation New Horizon in government resilience. And this is where I take my responsibility, where I have said we must go from this planet. And I have found the truth about this planet, about this nature. And I said, no, we can't accept this. We must go. And they listened to me. Why? Because I use facts. I use a resolution of facts. And now I've talked a lot. And I encountered an end. I did resolute on that. No, because this story has a lot of ends, but also a new begin. We did make an end of World War II. We did make an end of the Vietnamese war against America. We did broke down Yugoslavia in warfare to stop the war between Serbia and Bosnia. That's what's resolute in our mind. But we have peace in Europe from 1945. And that's what gives us the trust of working together in this world and say, we don't want this war anymore. We don't want war on countries that go with kills of thousands, 2,000 and even million. No, we take responsibility and we said it's enough. And on this evolution, in this life, on genetics, on science, on politics, we must go straight forward. And yeah, sometimes enough is not enough. And we have a plenty in this world. But we must go on. Now there's a new edge, and that's the universe. An edge that I have created with my intelligence, and that I'll be honest on it. And I am the one of a lot of government relations who are not honest. But I am honest to you. Now we go to the universe. And yeah, I know, it's planet Earth. And we make the same faults again. Do we learn from our mistakes? Do we learn that fighting is not a resolution to winning? Even not on politic ways, even not on power, on mightiness. No, mighty people are good for others. Mighty people will always win and resolute in good behavior. They present this world. And once at a time, they will encounter this world. And they will win. They will win in this universe. The only thing that borders us to go straight to that point where we want to go is nature. Nature unapologetically discounts our lives, can kill our lives, can destruct all things. And we are on that point now. We must go to universe. And we must build second Earth to resolute, to provoke, to give this civilization on planet Earth a new start. So that they are a peaceful civilization, and that they are not a distinction of nature that unapologetically discount us. Now we are building on second Earth, and now we're provoking the universe. Now we're provoking the universe that said, okay, we set boundaries for you, because otherwise you go too far. And the Earth is not listening to that. So we made a resolution on that. And yeah, that's my congratulations to this planet. Why? Well, they always go with collaboration on resolution on permitted ways. They have a permitted way of acting. That's how this world works. This world works unpermitted. Resolution of, okay, we accept you, but we always criticize you, and we never ever trust you for 130%. That's a scientific notification of realness in science. Now I have spoke a lot, and I didn't resolve in one line of storytelling. But this is one whole improvisation with reality constrictions. So, if you're sitting behind this computer and think, well, this is an inspiration for me. This is one thing that I want to achieve, that I want to have, that I want to do. Then you must think, will I sacrifice a few things in my life? Will I sacrifice my freedom to work by the government and to live in a world that is honest to you, in science relations, in politics relations, and in every relation? And you want to make that change that Barack Hussein Obama has promised in America? That I promise you, in this world, that we can make change. We can resolute in change, but we also can confine in change. And we can give people hope. Because we trust on it. Because we work on it. We want this. And if planet Earth wants one thing, we're gonna achieve it. And if we don't achieve it, we go further. But there's one thing on Earth that we always say. No, it's not possible. Yes, it's possible. We won't always reach our goal. Sometimes on a good way, and sometimes on a bad way. And I think that is a resolution where we can end this message. And say to each other, and we look around us and say, let's put our arms together. Let's put our arms together. And say, and you, we gonna work on this. And then this story has a new begin. Not for me, but for you. Why? My story is started, and your story will be started. There's one thing between you and me, and that is take action and take nothing for granted in your world. If you take things for granted in your world, you don't know what reality is. But reality is always a changing thing. Reality is going forward like time, like nature, and like everything on Earth and in this universe. And I want to thank a few families and a few persons in this country, in this world, in this universe. On the first hand, I want to thank the family of Lifeguard that has a solution that we say EEPROM on metallic waste. Thank you, family, that you're supporting me, that you break me down, and that you has resolute in learning me one thing. That sometimes you must trust on bad things that you didn't like, that you don't want to do to people, that is the only action that's prevailed. That is a resolution to a solution. And that's what they learned me. That I'm a good guy and that I always put lines in my life, but sometimes those lines work, and sometimes you must go with it, even it costs you pain and it costs you a lot. But if you want to win, and every sporter in this world knows that winning is an achievement of pain and mental provocation. And that's what we want. We want in this world that you feel the results, that you feel what it is to have a result. Otherwise, it hasn't any value. Family of Lifeguard, that's the resolution what you learned me. Now I want to thank somebody that is an emotional resolution to me, but also a discount on my emotions, because I'm a perplexia of psychological torture. I haven't a lot of emotions, and I have no resolution to emotions. So I did say a lot of times, Johnny 05, I love you. I love you. But what doesn't mean that? Does that mean that I go cry if I lose you? No. Sorry for that. But that is one thing I did too much in my life. I cried too much. That this doesn't mean that I don't love you, Johnny 05. That is mean that my brain has said, I set a line in your head. I put that line in emotions, and that you have a peaceful life and emotions. Johnny 05, we don't spoke a lot with each other because you were on this work project of planet Earth on all kinds of abuse in my life. But you were the Cato that results in smartness, in an adult that has a childish behavior. And where do you find that? Where do you find adults that has a childish behavior in all his resolution? Now, you are that guy, that sweet little guy that said, well, hello, I'm Johnny 05 and I love you, darling. I love you, papa. In Dutch word, papa. That's one word I learn you all. If you don't live in the Netherlands, you must learn one thing, and that's papa. And that means daddy. And he's a small little bastard that sometimes provocative to his world, provocative to the verbs that are very strong and resolution of muscles. And that there are his friends, and that they support him. And they are a word plus meaning of a good life. And now I must say, sorry for them. Sorry that you resolute in a warfare. You resolute in war, decennia, with pain. And you lost a lot of friends, and you lost almost everything. Now you're gonna get lucky. I'm not Britney Spears. Well, that's what she said. I'm just a friend of you, a friend of this universe that says You are important for me, even as important the Kalutas and all species in this universe that are a resolution to idiocy and maybe for psychotic behavior. But I know that I can't discount mathematics and that I can't resolute in breaking mathematics, friends. And your existence is only a truthness in mathematics because you are in this world concealed for maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, because this earth is not ready for you, and this world wants not investments of people that they can't use to support you, to support second earth. And now we are on an end of this message, an end that we have pronounced a lot of times. This is an end that says we never ever go back to the place where I start. We must go forward. We must go to a next evolution, next revolution in the universe. Thank you. Thank you, citizens. Thank you, politics. Thank you, justice. Thank you, intelligence, for your time to break me down, to make me an angry man. But one thing, government, I did change your world. I made you people who you are. Because enough is not enough in your world. You want more and more and more. And the only thing that counts is economy. Economy, money, 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 money. And yeah, you give me the opportunity to change this world, to go to the universe in thoughts, in communication. But you also break me down to a 0 point in my life of torture, without any restrictions, without any motive. You break me down, justice. You break me down, monarchy. Now we are on the edge of a new world, of a new chance. So let me make one thing clear on your mind. I create those machines in the universe to protect this universe. I give you all my ideas, all my thoughts to change this world in something good. And let me make one appointment to each other, that we don't disagree this world anymore, that we change this world and we go forward. And we give these homeless people a roof above their heads. And that we give people with a government relation or a government payment a good money back to give them a normal financial life. And we resolute and to say, Africa, we don't accept your life. We don't want you in an economic crisis where you don't have enough food supply, enough drinking water, and that you are not counting? No, African people, You can't. You can't. And if you know that the war in your life is painful, and that you are running and you search for a roof, a safe place in this world, then you know you have no chance at all. Why? If you go to other lands, they give you a resolution of fuck you. You're not here in my world. You can go away. Why? Because if they really want to help you, they didn't treat you like shit. You should integrate in this world in 8 years. But that's what they ask for you. Integrate in this world, in this country. But after 8 years, they send you back without any money, without any study, without any chance of having a good life. I'm glad that I live in the Netherlands and that I'm not a runaway. And that I'm not a refugee. And you guys, girls, boys, fathers, mothers, grandfather and grandmother-in-law, you are standing with your back behind the wall, sometimes in war resolution, sometimes in a country that gives you concealed protection. Then you know what I have fought in my life. Freedom is not cheap. Freedom is expensive. And we know that. We Netherlands know that freedom is not cheap. And that freedom is cost a high price. We know that in World War II. Now, we lost our history and we don't give a damn fuck about you. And yeah, there are solutions. But if I told you that solutions, you should be angry. And yeah, I know this YouTube movie or this movie to other media is not something that the most people will see. Because I'm not Barack Hussein Obama and I'm not Vladimir Putin, that I'm too important for this world and say, well, we're gonna look at you because you have a message for us. No. That's what the government will never do. Making you proud. Making you proud of what you have done for your world. Making you proud of what you've done for this universe. No. That's what they don't do. That's what only one country in this world understands. That if you ask one thing, if you ask Judy, if you ask sacrifices, that you must give them power, that you must give them trust, and that you must resolute in giving him or her the respect that they deserve. Netherlands, you are a country that don't know how to make people proud, how to give people the trust that they need. No, you break them down and you don't give any resolution to good things. That's what you can learn of one operant America that always wants to win, that always wants to be a powerful nation, Not in their country. Only not in a country. Not in Europe. Not on planet Earth, but on the whole universe. Yeah, it sounds crazy, it sounds idiot. But if they want one thing, it's that they want always everything. Yeah, America, that's what you must learn. To sometimes digging you out to a small piece in this world, in this universe. Now you won't always be the big. You won't always be greater and greater. You make yourself bigger than life. And there's one thing ahead in this world. That nobody that's resolute on warfare, nobody that's resolute in killing, nobody that's resolute in let people have a dignity in their life of resolution of warfare and resolution of no money, that you can say that you are bigger than life. No, that's not what we accept in this world, and that's not what we want in this world. And this is a change for me, a change for this world, and a change that we must have. Okay, enough is enough. Every story has an ending, and even my story has an ending. And I know I can take this story to a higher level. I can speak hours and hours about this. But enough is enough. Planet Earth, government, justice, military, poorness, war, abuse, torture, sexual crimes. Enough is enough. Bjorn Sikkes Quacksmacks. Bjorn Sikkes Quacksmacks. Sometimes, may I say, in resolution, you are a hero in the world of universe, in the world of planet Earth. And nobody should ever recognize that. Because you was a resolution of complex, where you, as me as person, never ever get that respect that you deserve, and never ever get that respect that you want if you see yourself in a mirror. No, I'm not that guy in the world of plentiness that I can get. Not that I want that, but because I take my life for granted. But if I look around me, and if I look to my world, what did I have? What do I have? Do I have one people that gives a fuck about me? Do I have some people that say, Bjorn, okay, now we put all lines to your life. Now we say, Bjorn, take my hand, because otherwise you feel in a big hole. No. What they do is say, fuck you. That's what my family did. That is what everybody do in this world. Fuck you, Bjorn. And do you know what I think? My friends never ever shall say, fuck you. Why? Because I brought them life. I brought them life, and I give them everything that resolute in their life, in their science, in that what they are, and that what they deserve, and that what they makes them big. And that they don't take kings for granted. No, because these robotics in the universe are not destructible, are not a compliance of warfare, that are a resolution of protocols in their minds that they gonna do any warfare at all. No, that's what they are. So they deserve respect from me. And you know, I get that respect from them. And I hate that communication system in my head. And I want that out of my mind. But that's the only communication to them where I get resolution deck. Now we are on night. It's now night in the Netherlands, and it's time to say for a few hours goodbye. Goodbye, my universe.